In the bottom right, from Moldova. Trying to return again in great shape here for DreamHack after disappointing a little bit towards the end of last year is Blade. In the top left, in the red, the sweetheart of the scene, the most glorious beard as well, hailing from France, is SyDe.
This is kind of the battle of the beards, actually, because Blade's got quite the beard himself. And we're going to be seeing a Crypt Lord play here out of SyDe in map number 1. So I think not particularly surprising. Like, when seeing the vetoes, sides, he vetoed Amazonia, you know, usually a pretty big indicator that you want to focus more on Crypt Lord play for the rest of the series when that happens. And Blades, in Europe, I think it's really only him and Hawk that have looked extremely impressive against Crypt Lord in the past, and now that there's been the patch, Impel has been toned down a bunch, so he's probably not going to mind too much playing as the Crypt Lord, technically.
And this could very much be a fast expansion on both sides. Then again, Blade is one of the few humans, I feel, who is willing to go for an aggressive play. Pressure on level 1, maybe on level 2, and try to make the Crypt Lord's life as difficult as possible. Or it could also, of course, just be the expansion play here with 1 or 2 small camps at the beginning. What I had seen by Blade before was him pulling out the lab as the first camp and creeping that right away. I thought perhaps with him picking this map, he might want to do this again, but no, that's not the case. He's going to go for a very conservative creep route here.
And we see the typical Blade early scout, by the way. Like, this guy's footman, it might not be invisible, but it's like a shade. It just stays on you all the time, and it can be pretty irritating to play against that, because you just see him scouting you at all times. He's seeing everything that you're creeping in, what order, what items you're getting, and it doesn't really feel like you can ever really threaten that footman. He almost never gets it caught and killed, so Blade is going to be able to see exactly what's happening from side, which is that he's expanding on the left-hand side, whereas most people, they would go to the easier one at the north.
Interesting. And I think I like that a lot. For the human, it could be pretty easy to be aggressive with level 3 AM, level 2 elementals, trade a bit of hit points here and there, and then fall back, heal up with Regen Scroll, and then hit again if they both had expanded in the north. But like this, it's going to be a lot harder for the human to heal up and then attack again. And of course, this is much more experience for the Crypt Lord and a big item. He's hoping for the big mana potion. Will he be so fortunate? Oh, he is!
Yeah. Did you see how the Archmage pulled the camp, by the way, the Murloc camp?
I did not, no.
He went on the cliff here, on the high ground, and he shot the Murloc, and then the whole Murlocs ended up. That's pretty cool. I never saw that before.
He's gonna get his level 3 here shortly after. With 1 more green camp in the middle. He's got really good items so far. If he gets a mantle here now, this is pretty much the nuts. Oh, baby. Have you ever gotten such items, Todd?
No, probably not.
That feels bad. SyDe, he's got only 2 items himself, but that big mana potion could be nice. Trying to do some serious damage here in the main. Lumber, of course, is low for humans always at the beginning. So this makes sense by SyDe. He knows this is going to delay the human tech by a lot. It's not too likely he's going to get that many kills, but this is certainly going to be rough on the economy. And in the meantime, 4 ghouls at the expansion.
Yeah, he's going to kill quite a few peasants. And the main thing that this achieves, we should pay very close attention to Blade's lumber. Whenever peasants become militia, they stop mining lumber. And also when you lose them, you have to replace them. So his tech is going to be incredibly delayed compared to that of SyDe. And because SyDe went for the Necropolis on his expansion, as soon as he has the lumber here, he could actually take in his main. But he pulled so many ghouls to actually be aggressive with that SyDe doesn't have the lumber currently to take himself.
I wonder, did he perhaps bring a few too many ghouls with that then? If he gets a couple more kills though... Oh! Wonderful Impale! Hits it there on all the footies. Might not actually get a kill. Oh, look at that block with the beetle. Nicely done. Gets 1 more footman, and now he can summon beetles inside the main. Oh! I'm not even sure if that's a wall off, actually. Perhaps it's not.
Still trying to find a bit more damage. Of course, Blade can access that lumber upgrade that you now can access on tier 1 out of the lumber mill. So he might be starting that immediately here. Yeah, there it is. Starts the tech, then gets the lumber upgrade. So he's going to be able to catch up on lumber behind this, but he still needs to spam a lot more peasants here to be able to do well lumber-wise. The Archmage on the other side went for a bit of a chase, but Ghoul able to get out. And Side's tech is actually equal with that of Blades, so I think he might have messed up by pulling off too many goals to be aggressive with and didn't have the lumber to tech earlier.
Yeah, I absolutely think so. Normally with this aggressive play, the goal is to tech faster, but here Blade, having the same tech timing, is in a wonderful position. He doesn't know about this like we do, but if he trades here now favorably, which he should be able to do, Side's gonna be in trouble. And this is the power spike that swings back into humans' favor. You have the Watch Elementals early, they are the best thing out at this stage in the game, and Side doesn't have mercenaries to work with or fiends, so this could be a lot of ghouls going down, but at least Side is trying to get a lot of footman kills himself.
Yeah, Blade might have to dive hard here to kill some ghouls. Right now, it doesn't really bother him to go deeper.
Oh, wow.
One footman about to fall. And Archmage almost 4 here. Ghouls die very quickly from Water Elementals and Archmage with these items. Side tries to desperately go for a surround. No, actually no. Still targeting the units.
Cryptid also very hurt. That cloak already was valuable earlier. He may need it again. Beetles holding for now. Lots of footies going down. Cryptid not level 4 quite yet. What Side needs is fiends. But the graveyard, perhaps also a little delayed. Hasn't finished yet. Only now. Now he can start going into fiends.
Yeah, this Cryptlord is so low. Luckily for him, he has Cloak of Shadows, so he shouldn't really ever die here. As long as he can use Shadow Meld on time. Tries to go for a surround on the Archmage. He's got it locked. And that's going to be a town portal here.
Nice surround there as well. Oh, he's going to close the surround with the cloak. Wow, that's a cool play by Side. Oh, he might just barely get out. Force the TP. Lose another ghoul. But that was an okay trade, I would say, for Blade. Look at the XP on the AM. He's 4 and beyond. And a fast level 5 AM can help tremendously until there's destroys.
Yeah. And he always knows how to use that perfectly. With a bunch of casters, breakers, get orb, staff. I like Blade style because he doesn't do anything like crazy fancy. He's just super solid play. He just tries to focus on execution, on having a very refined creep routes and build order. And his execution is amazing. That's why in this game he was able to kill so many goals and eventually get out. Like, yes, he lost Town Portal, but you saw how much gold he had after this. He doesn't overmake Footmen either, which is like a very common mistake in this kind of game. And he's going for Mount tanking seconds. Now, the Mount tanking, the clap has been nerfed a little bit, so there's been some humans out there who have already started condemning the tiny man for the Pandaren, but Blade is not one of them. He still believes in the Mount tanking, apparently.
Okay, if you can level up that MK, he does become very strong. And the Panda only offers damage, whereas the MK also offers a good bit of crowd control with the clap, and of course hero focus options with Stormbolt. Second heroes now both out. But I love this game for Blade. Oftentimes, when you play against this Cryptlord expansion style, on tier 2 you can hardly creep anything, you're getting pressured. But look at the map. There's so many camps still left. This MK should be able to creep up very nicely.
Yeah, I quite like this map. There's a good amount of camps. Like, you know, the red camp in the top right-hand side, in my opinion, is like very suitable to be there, like good size. I really think like this is one of the better maps that we've seen being added to the map pool, and it makes me happy to see it being played here and the players actually playing particularly well on it. Side did a bit of unusual thing with expanding on the left-hand side, but it hasn't changed so much. I guess he did get the greater healing for it, which allowed him to do a little bit more damage than maybe he could have otherwise if he had gone for the other camp.
Since you brought up also, I would like to praise Tidehunters. It's a great map. Made by Care, and I thought, you know, first DreamHack season, maybe they're gonna be vetoed mostly, Autumn Leaves and Tidehunters, until players are used to it, but we've seen plenty of games on the new map already, especially on Tidehunters. And yeah, we still have lots of creep camps left over indeed. MK close to 3, AM close to 5. Gonna TP now towards this expansion, trying to repel the undead attack, but this DK isn't even level 2 yet.
Oh,
it's not looking very dangerous by Side.
He could have landed a big impale and killed both priests immediately. I think Side was seeing that, and then by the time he got there, the priest had pulled back because of the pathing. Wait, these mount tanking items Like, this is exactly what you want here if you're Blades. Wound Bracers for the anti-nuke, Penance of Energy for a lot of extra mana. But right now, Fiend's not doing too bad. We're in the pre-Knight and Breaker era of the game. There is no Paladin yet. But Staff is now available. He hasn't bought it yet.
Yeah, I've seen that sometimes by Blade, that he holds back on buying the Orb of Fire and the Staff for a long time. Gyro now coming in. Now we finally have Detection, and that means one more Fiend should certainly be going down. SyDe on 2-0 Fiends already. MK hits level 3. You will oftentimes see SyDe going heavy into these upgrades quickly, which is going to be very valuable later on. But now we have Knights, and that's the big counter. But what about the AM? He's kind of surrounded right here. If there was an Impale, that could be his end. Whew. But he gets out.
And now that there is a Knight, it might be a good time for SyDe to pull back, especially because he's out of mana mostly. You don't want to overextend here, not against a player of the caliber of Blades. He's just going to tap out.
GG. Well, that was pretty quick and convincing by Blade. It was sort of scary early on. He was getting double prong attacked in 2 bases, but I just cost SyDe too much. The goal of this early attack is you're going to get ahead in tech. You're probably going to be a little bit lower in experience, as we also saw there. But you hit the nail on the head, I think. There was just too many ghouls. It slowed him down too much.
Yeah, cool ideas by SyDe and mostly good execution as well, like 2 rounds attack. This ghoul block, or this beetle block there was super cool to get this 1 kill on the footman in Blade's base. But Blade playing once again super solid. This matchup is kind of made for him alongside the human mirror. Super good items, super good build order, good creeping, and just doing the necessary damage at the right time, not losing it too much, not feeding away at the Crypt Lord, and SyDe needs to step up his game here a little bit to compete with Blade, who, yeah, we didn't really know what kind of shape he is, but that looked pretty good. Will it continue to look good, or is it now time for the undead to wreak havoc on the human? We have Northern Isles and Last Refuge next, after a little break. Blade is back here at DreamHack Summer Open and opening up really, really well on Tidehunter's side. Couldn't stand the power of the Moldovan Mauler. Now it's Northern Isles, guys.
And that is certainly a much better map. Has been looking really, really good for Undead versus Human for a long time. Even before the Cryptlord meta, this was very effective with DK Harass. But with Cryptlord especially, this seems to be a great map for Undead. If the Human wants to counter expand here, it's very hard to make that work. But that's not the only option that the Humans have.
We'll see on the map what's happening here. SyDe, we see him focused once again. Not in the greatest mood anymore, as it seemed. The shirt behind him available at campknopf.com, by the way, if you want to grab some side swag. Shout out, Knopf, you're going to pay me later, all right? So, our second map on one of the most beloved Undead maps there is. It's time for Northern Isles.
So what is Blade gonna do now? I think it's pretty clear what SyDe's gonna attempt. It's gonna be Cryptlord, fast expansion. On this map, it's really good. You got 2 critters on the way to the natural. You can get skeletons and beetles right away. You can creep the natural easily with a skull, get level 2 instantly, and a big item. For the human, usually when you want to expand, you want to have a level 3 creep route. But it's an awkward level 3 creep route on this map for human if you want to do it with an expo.
Yeah, it looks like Blade wants to creep upwards first. A lot of humans, they go for Tusker Camp. Sometimes they even grab the lab. But it seems like Blade is going the other route here. And the question is, will he creep the expansion shortly after? He might just wait for his scouts to tell him what's happening. Like, I expect that first footman will, as always, head across the map and try and see what's happening. Probably not going to be too surprised to see a creep lord, and then he can decide on exactly what timing he creeps the expo. And again, like, Blade is known for playing really like standard with extremely good execution. What would that be here? Just setting up expansion and doing the exact same as he did last game.
Yeah, could be. But again, the level 3 is going to be a lot harder to come by this time. A lot of humans here, like for example Chimiko and I think also Sok, like to go for quick tier 2 tech and then go for level 3 creep, of course, with the lab that you mentioned, and then go for Firelord all in. But Blade does not seem to favor that style too much. It's going to be green into Expo, which is going to be kind of level 2.3, 2.4. And then probably going to try to defend his expansion. Cryptlord, the nice thing here is you get level 2 right away at the expansion, as I said, and then you can even transition right away into the middle and creep one of the camps there, and then attack the human.
Yeah, Blade got a ring first camp, not the most ideal. He's probably looking across the map with his footman right now. He's like, crystal ball, crystal ball. Let's see what SyDe gets. Claws +9, so a little bit of extra damage. And yeah, I wonder, Blade, is he gonna try and creep an extra Murloc camp? I guess it really depends on whether SyDe rushes him immediately, which I think he will.
12+9 for the AM as well. Very good item for him right now. Ring of Protection. Very good item later for MK and Paladin. Alright, here we go. This is a very crucial moment in the game. The first attack. How many peasants is it gonna kill? Is there a number you keep in your head? How many peasants is okay to lose here, or should it be 0?
Actually, ooh, the cancel on the tunnel. Because he was so low on hit points, because it had just started, he actually lost a lot of resources here with this. And now peasants start dying. SyDe disengages because he sees there's a lot of footies, there's double wet elemental. You don't want to feed that Archmage level 3 too fast. Skellies need to target peasants now.
SyDe again, low lumber, but of course this time we're still early into the game. The Haunted Goldmine is coming up. Cryptlord went for the Telly Staff. He's going to be very mobile now. Blade is just going to give up on this expansion? Doesn't seem like he can.
He has 5 militia and militia form over there. Maybe he's hiding for a little bit and then he'll go over and take it again. If you're SyDe, you might just hang around that expo with the Cryptlord, knowing that you can staff home if need be.
Oh, but look at the timing. This is going to be a cancel, isn't it? AM showing up. This should easily be in time to get this cancel. And now we're in a very weird game state. It's a double cancel. Oh, and that Acolyte. That Acolyte is level 3. SyDe doesn't know it. If he did, it would be a deny. Oh, so important. Can he get the deny? He can. Oh, my God. But the Cryptlord, in the meantime, is the one to get surrounded.
Oh, this is really bad. And he doesn't have an impale either. He doesn't have an impale. He's not even close to getting a level either. He's gonna try and break out. Can he? No. There's still enough footies with the surrounds. He dies with 98 mana. That was just before the impale.
The expansion here will finish, but is that gonna be... Oh, will it though? Does finish. Acolyte repairing. Okay, if Blade loses all of his footies here, this game is absolutely not over yet. Acolytes not coming from the main. SyDe a little overwhelmed. Forgot about that detail. Of course, it's been a very stressful couple of seconds here. And that is going to be just enough damage to take out this Haunted.
And the Cryptlord just got a kill on the Water Elemental and a Footman. So now he's very close to 3. There's still no tech from Blade, like he really wanted to expand. I think SyDe's just going to re-expand behind this. He almost has the Lumber.
This game is so weird. There we go. Cryptlord 3 with the Peasant kill and a Footy kill at the same time. Blade has lots of resources though, so he could pull off a power build here pretty quickly. Maybe AM go for some boots. Yep, there we go. Now he's going to be speedy.
To get a surround. There is a staff, so it's not going to be... Actually, wait, he's going to do too much damage. Oh my god. Arkham is going to fall really low on hit points here.
He staffs into his doom, almost. Oof. Barely gets away right there. Beetles cannot enter the main. It's a wall off. But this AM cannot heal. No Shadow Priest on this map. He's going to have to get a shop first, I guess.
Yeah, SyDe's forgetting to macro behind this. He's not starting Acolytes for the Expo. He gets an Necropolis there, so maybe he might be planning on teching here very soon. Then just get the Acolytes from the Necropolis at the Expo, but he was made late as well compared to the Haunted.
Okay, Blade now consolidated his forces, the AM and the Footies all together, and that should be enough strength to finally enable this expansion. Militia about to start constructing, but that is definitely going to be behind the Undead's timing for the Expo. But Blade has better resources, so tech timing should be somewhat similar.
Yeah, Ghouls on the left-hand side again going to the Expo, so the staff won't quite beat back up for Blade by the time they get there, so he might start losing Peasants again immediately. I think he might have realized, like he might have thought about it just now. He's like, oh, there could be Ghouls ahead for my Expo, so I'm just going to run back. I don't want to be too far out if they're on the way. Great read by Blade here.
Yeah, SyDe has loved this Ghoul run by for a long time now. Staff coming in. Oh, is there an Impale? No. So the AM should be fine. Love these boots. Way easier to reposition with them. Ooh, but the AM says to be careful. Oh, wait a minute. What about the Cryptlord, though? Speaking of boots, he can run him down now, and that should be enough for the kill. This AM will be fast enough. Cryptlord, only hope he has left is deny himself to the creeps, but even that will not work out. Full experience going to the AM, almost level 4. With some ghoul kills in the north, he might be able to get it. And SyDe probably has to go for another Tavern Revive in what is, I guess, still the early game. There we go. AM level 4. Oh my god, that's so many ghouls going down.
The hunt is on. He's not going to let any one of those escape here. Thanks to the boots. Yeah, Cryptlord rebought again. He's going to head back to the Expo. Don't lose Cryptlord one more time. I think that would be the one time too much here if that happens. Both sides. But yeah, at least his tech is way earlier than that of Blade, which still hasn't started despite him having the lumber currently for it. So that's, I think, a bit of a mistake for sure.
This AM is going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting to make up for this tech disadvantage. He's going to have to buy a ton of time for the Mountain King. Because when the DK comes outside, can power creep really fast. Should definitely go for a second crypt, I think, and start pumping out those fiends. But yeah, you talked about the Acolyte count earlier. We still don't have full mining here. Honestly, this Expo took a long time to really come into full swing for the Umbra.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of sloppy macro by SyDe. With not getting Acolytes for the longest time from the main while he was fighting on the other side of the map. It's hard to be everywhere. Yeah, that showed here for sure. Gets the experience for this Water Elemental, so Criplord is 3.5. But Blade finally has tech on the way. He's setting up his towers perfectly at the Expo. Blacksmith.
Yeah, I like this creeping here by Blade. He's gonna try to take this away from the DK and get close to level 5. If he gets level 5 here, these water elementals should be able to buy tons of time for the tier 2 and his own tech. With his tier 2 being so late, is that consideration now for a Panda?
I don't think so. I think like once he played mount tanking the way he did in game 1 and he's just like this super solid player with it, I think it's just going to be mount tanking all the way. But it's always worth considering, I think, at this time in the game. Even if you don't end up going for it, to just consider it for a bit and try to weigh the pros and cons. You know, like, yes, you won't have as much crowd control, but you do get the Panda instantly, yes.
That robe also suits the AM quite nicely. DK now out, misses his first opportunity to save a life. But 2 towers standing at the Expo. This could very easily be tons of footies going down. 2 die so far. The narrow tower slow. There we go. That's the 3rd footman dying. That seemed a little bit wasteful by Blade, but I guess he feels as long as he's preventing leveling on this DK, he's fine with this.
And now that maybe the marketplace going to sides, but he doesn't have many ghouls. Many fiends. He has only 2. 3rd one just started. He got a slaughterhouse back at home. He's getting a temple. There's no second crypt yet.
Oof. 1 hit point ghoul. That guy has a story to tell back at home to his friends. Oh, it is the Panda. There we go. Shows up with the breath of fire. And the water elementals here. That's what I was talking about. Being spammed endlessly by the AM, trying to buy time to make up for the slower tech. And again, Blade rushing tier 3 right away. Really good lumber management. He got the 2nd hero, double sanctum, and still was able to afford to keep exactly enough peasants here that Blade made.
Yeah, he made quite a few of them. It seems like he's not getting the 2nd lumber upgrade from what I can see. I think the Panda here is a lot about not just like, you know, he tech late and he has access to 2nd hero late, but also he wants to compete for that center camp. And having a Panda here right now is going to make that easier. It's one of the only heroes that has a spell that actually affects statues as well, which is pretty amazing.
The DK is super hurt already. When you play DK as a 2nd hero or as the 3rd hero, he's much more squishy. Death Knight first is always going to be well leveled, have a couple of rings, have a couple of tomes. But a DK 2nd, much more susceptible. Of course, this time no Stormbolt for him to worry about. As Blade is trying to go for the lap. He wants to go for a Shredder here, perhaps. Although I guess his lumber is looking good already. It's going to be SyDe now. Looking for the Creep Jack. He can definitely steal his last hit with a coil on the big tracker. And with so many footies going down before... Oh my god, doesn't he not get the last hit? Goes to the undead, but the DK dies. Cryptod got level 4. The breath there, I think, was not quite good enough to get that experience. But the Death Knight dead now. Not getting any XP is a big deal.
Such a weird decision by SyDe to chase Blade like this. Like, Blade, essentially, he gave up the center. He was like, I cannot fight anymore in the center, so I'm gonna run away. Moves to the right, and SyDe overextends. The Criplord now in danger. I think he's gonna go down. There is another Zeppelin available in 3 seconds, but he doesn't realize he's gonna run away, and he's gonna go down one more time. SyDe, you could have just gotten the center and the marketplace here very easily after Blade disengaged, but he chose to chase a little bit too far out, and now lost both of his heroes.
I think the big problem there was the statue positioning. It wasn't properly placed behind the army, and the DK waiting next to the statue. Just a little bit sloppy there on the movement. Also, he had a Zeppelin that he could have used, but I guess that one is easy to forget. At least now the Lich is coming in, and that one is going to be able to gather up some XP. But this DK is going to be seriously underleveled.
A Drunken Haze is going to be there for the Panda. That's a lot of potential max damage here with the double combo. And we have Breaker production beginning now, as well as Knight production. 53 supply for Blade, but he's about to completely explode our control supply-wise and get really far ahead.
Look at that Lich, by the way. He just bought the robe, didn't he? 400 gold, all right. SyDe sparing no expense for his 3rd hero.
Perhaps some of the best gold he's ever spent, and he finds a class +9. Oh my god, that glitch. It's not the Moldovan Mauler. It's the undead Mauler that we're gonna see this game.
+34. Holy smokes, that's a lot of damage. DK2, Lich 2. Huge level ups here on the undead side. Panda getting most of the experience at the red. Helm of Valor for him is not bad. It's a good bit of tankiness for the second hero. Also gonna help out with tankiness is the Paladin. They're the third hero healer now coming in. We have some breakers and a workshop. We don't know yet whether it's gonna be for gyros or mortar teams.
Look at what SyDe's doing. He made a second slaughterhouse, so it looks like instead of going for a lot of fiends and a few A-bombs, he's gonna get a few fiends and a lot of A-bombs, I think. Unless he wants to go into a lot of destroyers, which if you have very few fiends, I don't think will make much sense. So he's hoping that Blade will overcommit on breakers, so that he can have a strong front line with the A-bombs to disease cloud everything, kind of tank, for the heroes to do the rest of the damage. But yeah, everything's a little too late, it feels like, for SyDe, because he's just kept on falling further and further behind this whole game. And now Blade's about to hit a timing that I think will force a quick town portal out of SyDe. So close to level 5 on that crit lord.
No mass repair on the shop. Oh, keeping that alive for mana potions could have been huge. Cripplet, by the way, Medallion of Courage, very good item for him. Drunken Hate's Breath of Fire connects the first time, but we have statues here. And of course the natural Blight regen. Go the bees coming in as well. No destroyers up in the air. They would be a big help. And Blade's just taking out these buildings. 2-1 upgrades on the breakers already. That's really fast. Surround with the illusions. And one real knight takes out the fiend there as well. SyDe's not ready yet. He needs the A-bombs. Where are they?
They're coming, but not quickly enough. He made Disease Cloud first. The first A-bomb is out and headed for the fight. Crippler completely out of mana, and he keeps on getting mana drained by those breakers whenever they attack him as well. So he hasn't had any extra impale. Finally gets level 5. He's gonna have the one single impale, but it's not even really doing that much because there's not enough fiends to do the follow-up damage behind this.
Getting chased now, possibly losing more. Level 2 for the Pally. Death Knight might be going down once again, but there's a potion this time. Breath of Fire did tons of damage. A-bombs don't care too much about Breath of Fire. They have tons of hit points. Finally they're in. But it seems like they're just a little too late, and that was a wonderful timing by Blade, which should lead to this Haunted going down. Perhaps also the Pally going down? No. He's going to be staffed out last second. Pally was saved. Haunted cannot be saved. AM. Oh, actually, with that hero kill threatened, it's almost enough to hold the expansion, but not quite. And you know, the nice thing is, now that A-bombs are in the mix, Water Elementals suddenly are pretty good again.
Yeah, I think SyDe doesn't really have the economy to go into enough statues and destroyers. So usually the move against A-bombs is that you want to have a couple sorceresses, which really might be the final nail in the coffin if Blade goes for that. He's going mortars.
Alright. A bit of frag shards can especially be helpful against Banshees if they should be coming. Looking at this human army though, it is a little bit scary considering destroyers, because there's like nothing against destroyers. A single gyro for moral support, I guess.
Yeah, but he has double workshop. I think he could just go back if there's destroyers and then make flying machines and then re-engage later. That's probably what he's thinking. He's gonna follow up attack anyway. He knows that SyDe's economy is completely wrecked in this game, and he can probably just finish with a follow-up attack, re-kill the expo, and then he's just too far ahead economically.
That Lich is shouting to his teammates like, "Boys, I'm doing my job. What are you doing? Not enough, it seems. I got plus 34 damage. I'm hitting here with 70 damage per hit." But the Lich solo seemingly not good enough here to withstand the onslaught. 20 supply lead for Blade. We have Inner Fire now as well. Finally a destroyer, but only one.
Do you think that if that happened, the DK would be like, "Shut it, you pay to win hero with your items"?
Lich abusing the loot boxes at the marketplace. How could he? That's unethical. Oh, Impale. Doing a decent bit of damage, but when there's no follow-up, it's really not that impressive. And this Drunken Hate's Breath of Fire stacking up. DK in trouble again. Holy Light almost finishes him off. Actually wasn't on a fiend. Big heal scroll there as well. Look at this AM. That's some confidence. In the middle of the army, he's not scared of anything. GG, well played. 2-0, Blade destroys SyDe.